elected in this state and in this country for an entire generation. I am part of that generation. We have got to address that need. There is opportunities for tremendous growth and development. I applaud my IDB. They have gone out and above on trying to help get private people to come in that are companies that are interested for this need. So we have an opportunity in Chilton County, which I realize I am from a small county. I am from a county right next door to us. I am from Elmore. It is hard to fathom when you sit thinking that your county can hold something that's one of 11 in this country. There's only 10 more like it in this country. So it is kind of like a Disneyland. It is a fantastic opportunity for us. And how it's a lot like a Disneyland is once they get there, they're captured and they don't want to leave. They don't want to unhook their trailers, which is where the retail component comes in. And while we're trying to think that we can really maximize off these 900,000 people if we build a good retail component next to this park. And then in addition to this, we've got this extra property over here. And we're like, why don't we focus on workforce? Why don't we, instead of just worrying about Chilton County, why don't we become the premier place in the state of Alabama, and why not the Southeast in making for workforce development? Why do we always have to be behind everybody? Why don't we finally step forward? So while it is a sales tax, and it is a situation now everybody hates taxes. I have a 17-month-old, so I spend more time at Walmart than I do at my house buying diapers. So I am 100%. But you're already spending it. When you go to Alabaster and you go to Prattville, you're already spending 10 cents. So you're just now giving it back to your roads and to your safety and to the infrastructure and to economic development. And when it comes for economic development, I don't want y'all to think that we're trying to make some back corner deals with companies, whether it's Alpha or it's a Hyundai or it's a Toyota. I can assure you, good, bad, or indifferent on me, your IDB board, which is appointed by your county commission, and the city committee, they do due diligence beyond every reproach of making sure that your money is spent wisely. And I can definitely say that from the bottom of my heart on that one. I think this is a fantastic opportunity for this county to see a tremendous change in growth in the next 20 years. And an opportunity beyond, and this is the best part, those 900,000 people, they're going to come in, stay 3 days, and they're going to leave. So you don't have to pay for their school for their kids. You might have to pay for some of them when they become citizens of Chilton County. I don't know about that. But you have an opportunity to have good money that comes in and leaves, money that can change the quality of life in this county, money that can make our schools better, money that can make our hospitals better, money that can make our fire and our public safety better. And that's what we've got to do. Is I applaud them. I know this wasn't hard. It was a very hard decision to make, but they are trying to see into the future. Pass the tax, go ahead and get some of the stuff moving, and then when this project takes off, be able to maximize on the sales tax of the people coming in and taking the opportunity. And the workforce development is not just county. We will host people from the plan is to host people from all over the country to come in and stay there and stay in our hotels and eat the food in these restaurants that we're trying to recruit and be trained in whatever facet that they're there to train for, and then to leave. So you have an opportunity for so many more really good paying jobs, because that's what we hope happens. Right now you've got companies driving through here. They're driving between Montgomery or Huntsville and Birmingham and Mobile. I said the geographics of this state all wrong, but y'all know what I mean. Those 32 million people or 35 million, the 47,000 that go up and down our interstate every day, they're driving through Chilton County. And I really want them to do more than just buy peaches here. I want them to spend some serious money so we can make this county better. So my office is currently the Alabama Power. I'm not there a lot because of all the different components going on, but we are trying our best. I know I have 2 board members here. I don't know if I haven't really scanned the room. I came in late, but we are trying to make this project work. And it is a lot of moving pieces. And there is no structure yet, so the lease questions are pointless right now, because the structures have got to be set up before we know how the lease works.
So one thing that came out early on that I hadn't thought about is, you bring these events in, and people generally come between Thursday and Monday. What do you do with if we facilitate the need of the 26 hotels that I've heard are going to be needed? If we get those here, what do we do with them during the middle of the week? You know, what are they going to do? What about the restaurants that are going to have to feed these people, these 40,000 people per day? What do you do with them on Tuesday and Wednesday, or Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of every week? The workforce development component brings in, and of course it won't be enough, but it'll bring in people that are here that'll be using these same buildings in some cases to work in and train in during the middle of the week that we're having events in on the weekend. So a lot of these buildings are multi-purpose facilities, and these people that we're trying to bring in are going to keep the waitresses and the hotels filled up during the week, and then when they go home, we're going to bring tourists in. And that's the plan, and that's why we're trying to find that other component, because we don't have enough people here in this county, I hope, that are using hotels locally. So anyway.
I had one other thing I wanted to add, not to go, my grandson went off. But, with all this going on, I'd like for y'all to think about this. This is something that's gonna be another hard thing that you'll have to deal with in the county. But with the new buildings and the new, places to stay and the eating establishments and all, you're gonna have to have inspection. You're gonna have to have things done to code, you gotta follow code, you're gonna have all kind of responsibilities. Tony Waring, your civil engineer, you know, you look at the cities of Clanton around here and you don't have, a civil engineer. Sometimes the cities have things they need to do, they can combine some resources and get a civil engineer. You're gonna have some more qualified people to help you administer this, and I know you're in the planning stage.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget the other parts of the development you're gonna have to have. You know, Steve, you know how that is on inspections and things like that. Things have to be done right. There's all kind of legal obligations that if you don't.
Well, one thing that I'll add on to what you just said about the need for codes and inspections and things like that to make sure this, and I'm repeating some of what you said so that it'll be picked up, but the codes and inspections and things, this facility or this site has been annexed already into the city of Clanton. So it won't be the county per se that has to change what we do. That burden of the inspections and the city codes and all, which is not easy for us to do because we don't have local rule, will be handled by the city, and they have home rule. So by a vote of the city council, they can make a law for the city. For us, we have to go to Montgomery and get it approved for us to change anything that we do.
All the more so to work with them toward getting a setup where they have these qualified people to do this. One suggestion I have is, and I used to deal with a little bit of this when I worked as an engineer, is to use the assets of some of the others involved in this, because they're gonna be involved. You've got Jemison, they're gonna need it, they're gonna have facilities around the interstate.
No doubt.
You're gonna have, Thorsby, there's still gonna be people, and even all the way down towards Bravina.
There you go, now you talk.
But don't forget, and work with the city to help them, or give them those suggestions that they file some resources and get some qualified people. I mean, you know, it's easy to go and look at something, but if you're not qualified, really qualified, then you're not gonna be doing the job like it needs to be.
You're exactly right.
From a civil standpoint, that's from the building, from the foundation up. Electrical inspectors, you need a qualified electrical engineer. And there's other ways to handle things. You can send plans and have them certified by professional engineers, but I would suggest that they start planning to get some professional engineers or a group that you can count on to do this, and make that suggestion.
Thank you.
City goes by the new international building code.
Can I say something, Mr.
Sure.
Chairman? I personally would like to, and I know everybody up here would, I would personally like to thank Whitney and her group. Sometimes I don't think people see how hard these people work behind the scenes.
Wow.
And kind of use a baseball analogy, I know there's some risk here, so does everybody here. But everybody wants to have what Shelby County has, Autauga County. But we can't just stay like we were. As she said, the 1 cent sales tax was necessary. and I'm not picking on any of the previous commissions, because I don't know the past term who was here beyond that. But the model this county was using, it didn't work. It just didn't work. And as cost of business went up, we were flatlining, and that gap wasn't gonna do nothing but get bigger. Services was gonna get smaller. So I would like to thank these people. And as a baseball analogy, you're not gonna get a hit unless you're at the plate.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm a resident of the county. I own a business up in Jemison, and I have a lot of concerns about this, especially the Ag Center. I will acknowledge you've got a problem. We've got a problem with funding this county. We're not going to go there. Let's just acknowledge that's true. But I will tell you and remind you that all taxes, sales or whatever, are a subtractive element to any economy. You're taking money out of my hands to give to someone else.
Right.
And history proves that every time you do that, we get a cent, a percent, a small percent of every dollar we spend. You don't ever get the full dollar back. All these projections you're making are exactly that, projections. They're speculative, and you have no clue what is going to happen in this county. You can't base it on what happens over in Georgia or Nebraska or California. You can't tell me that all these people, all this money will be spent in this county.
No, we can't
Yeah, but
guarantee
yet
that.
you're going to put me and everyone in this room, my kids, my grandkids, on the hook for a bond that may or may not get paid back.
Well, first of all, the bond may happen, but at this point, we have not been asked
Okay.
for anything. So
Fair
what
enough,
we've
that's-
done is prepared ourselves to react if asked.
Okay, but we have put a bond on the hospital.
We have. And
How
it's
much
saved
money did that 1% sales tax is bringing in every year? How much?
4.1 million this past year.
How much do we owe on the hospital still?
60-something million.
Okay, so your potential to put our residents in this county into more debt for something that affects hotels, restaurants. I don't know anybody in those industries. You're taking money as a general sense. I think it should be put straight to the roads. I'm not against that. We have a problem with that. But to take public money and fund job creation is a losing proposition every time. The only people who make money, and I allege no corruption or anything, it's just a mindset we've gotten into that you will create jobs, and you don't. And I'll leave with this. I saw a movie being made in Montevallo, so I looked it up. And some University of Southern California economists, Yale economists, did a study that for every dollar a state film commission puts into supporting these, they get on average 17 cents back into the economy. The only people making money are out-of-staters. Money comes and it goes back out. That's what I'm afraid will happen here. People going up and down the freeway. Yeah, they may spend money, but the ones who build it, are they going to be all local contractors?
We don't.
The ones who staff it, are they all going to be local people?
We can't
You
answer
can't
those
tell me
questions.
that.
You
And
can't.
to me, that's a problem. You're using public money on speculation, projections, and you can't prove it. And so that's why I'm against it. And I think you should think considerably about it, because my tax rate in Jemison will be 11%, 2% higher than anybody around us. The people that come to my shop, are they going to go somewhere else because I'm 2% higher? Might. So it could be destructive to us in my area, and we may not pick up any benefit. Why would you build a hotel in Jemison where there's 11% tax when you can build it for 9% or 10% in Clanton or 9% in Calera?
Because sales tax don't apply to motels, only the lodging tax applies to motels.
I will.
And I mean,
I will-
can I, Mr.
Go-
Chairman?
Please.
And a minute, let me talk to you about something else too. That you just said your tax is 2 cents higher in Jemison, right?
Mhm.
Do you know why that is?
Yeah, I keep getting taxed.
Well, I understand, but this commission didn't raise that tax.
I understand that, but you're going to add to it.
This commission didn't put that tax where it
I
is.
understand.
It's the highest in this county, but we didn't do that.
It's highest in the area.
We didn't do that.
I understand,
Do you know where your
but you're
county
adding
taxes go
it.
to?
That's what I'm
Do
saying.
you know where your county taxes go to? Can you break down your county taxes?
No, I can't.
6 cents in the county. in the county, okay?
That's where it was when I moved here, yeah.
6 cents. And that's about how it's been how long now? Until we raised it for the hospital? 1 cent goes to hospital, 1 cent goes to education. The other 4 cents goes to state of Alabama. Nothing comes to this county.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is I will be, if this passes, 2% higher than anybody around us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand the economic argument against saving the automobile dealers from the increase. It's a good economic argument. You're afraid of them losing business. What about me losing business?
Sir, did you say you were in the ag business?
No. I did
What'd
not.
you say? What business are you in?
I'd rather not say. I mean, somebody might, it's a very small business.
Well, I mean,
you just
said you was
I
talking
don't
about
want people to
supporting
come
your
back on
business,
me
and I
for
mean,
it.
I understand. I'm in the business too. I'm in
I'll
the
tell
repair
you,
business.
My
I'm in
wife
the,
owns a veterinary clinic.
okay.
We sell product. It'll be 2% higher than anybody
Yes,
else
sir.
around. And Tuscaloosa's having the same trouble. They're losing sales tax revenues. They're bigger than us. They're wealthier than us. I got this article right here.
But this Tuscaloosa, and this is where you don't have the full story. Tuscaloosa has a flat tax in the entire county. So whether you're in the city limits or in the county, you pay the same rate. If you're in Northport or Tuscaloosa or Duncanville, you pay the same rate. We don't have that. So this 3 or 4% that your municipalities are tacking on when you're inside the city limits, the county doesn't get that money. But we're expected to maintain 1,000 miles of road, and every time we try to condemn a single mile of road, we get sued over it.
I told
So
you,
we're not
I
going to
concede we
decrease
should
our needs.
put that money to the roads, not to other ventures like a Ag Expo Center or any economic development. I'm sorry, I just
So
don't think.
if we bring in $4 million, no, we will, in a 1 cent sales tax.
No, sir, all taxes are deductive.
Sales tax will generate $4 million to the county government. It's doing it today, 1 cent. No, but we added the extra cent to the county, so it's going to offset it. So it's going to be right at 4 million, somewhere between 3.7 and 4 million. So we bring in that 3.7 to 4 million into the county. Okay, let's just go around number, $4 million. We haven't been asked for anything from anyone, but let's just say they get to the end of this capital stack, and they've got $20 million they need to finish building the facility. And they come to us in the city of Clanton and they say, hey, we need you to spend $10 million and you to spend, well, we don't have it, first of all, so we'll have to bond it, right? We're going to take a mortgage out to borrow our portion of that money. Now, the city of Clanton may have their money, but we don't. So we may put $700,000 of that $4 million toward a bond payment. So that leaves us with that other money to go toward public safety and roads or infrastructure, however you want to look at the terms. We're not spending all of that money on that facility. So then the facility, if it does the least amount, and the study said, if we don't grow, if we don't do anything to retain the retail side that comes with this, we're at 68 million in sales. Okay, we've offset what we paid for our bond payment at a bare minimum, and these studies were done by one of the most prestigious firms that does this in the United States. So they can't afford to be wrong a lot, or they won't get any more jobs. So they're going to be pretty close. At bare minimum, we're back to putting the entire $4 million within 6 to 7 years back into the infrastructure that you're talking about, that your kids and your grandkids are going to ride on, that are going to provide, hopefully, better accommodations so they want to live here. You know,
If it works.
if it works. But there's nobody that ever hit a home run, as Commissioner Langston said, that didn't get up to the plate. We've got to get in this game, because what we've done in this county for the last 40 years is we've stood back and we've let Shelby County and Autauga County get up to bat. And we said, ooh, we don't want in that game. And during that time, they've grown. The city of Alabaster has more people in the city limits than all of Chilton County. So does the city of Prattville. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we were the same size counties. Shelby County has today somewhere, I think it's 117 or 119 million dollar budget for county government. And your county government's running on 17 million. And 20 years ago, when they stepped up and invested like we're trying to do right now into themselves, they were the exact same size we are today. I remember as a child going back and forth to Birmingham to the doctor on a weekly basis, and where the Alabaster facility is now, the shopping mall, was a low rent trailer park. And the people in that community funded that, and today, or not today, but just a matter of 2 years ago, they sold a bond on one school for $89 million, and it sold out in 12 minutes. They have one school up there that would house every kid in our county twice on one spot. That's our tax money that paid for that. Because we won't spend our money at home. We go there because we don't have a place to spend it. And if we don't change our thought pattern, 20 years from now, we're going to look just like we do right now, and they're going to be as big as Huntsville. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
My wife used your cleaner.
Do we have any more questions? Please, sir.
To the mic, please. Oh, this lady.
He's up first. Let's.
I'm Stacy Duran. My question is, what if I didn't? I worked in Shelby County for 15 years. I'm self-employed too. I'm a carpenter. If you wanted to do these skills like you're talking about, why did we take them out of the trade school? We had them all at the trade school.
We don't have control over that.
I know, but I'm saying
Yeah.
we had it here and we let it go.
You're right.
Build, and then now we got a college, and when we got to college, we're gonna fill the what's the conference center or whatever it's called.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna do it, and it don't do anything. It sits there most of the time. I mean,
It
it does
does a
some,
lot.
but it's never packed out.
It does a lot, though.
There's a reason for that, and I know we're getting off subject, but part of the problem with that conference center is we don't have enough hotel rooms to house the people that want to come here. So we have to get conferences where people can commute, and that changes that geographic to a real small area. The lady that runs that says that they have calls daily with people wanting to come there, and we just don't have the hotel rooms for it.
I understand. All right. The reason I got up was because, like I said, I worked in Shelby County. I built houses up there 15 years. If I wanted to live in Shelby County, I'd move to Shelby County. I don't want people sitting right next door to me on my house. I don't want houses next door to. We built houses, and they was about as far from this wall apart.
Yeah.
I built 30 out of 31 houses
Right.
in a 2,300 acre hunting club. Every bit of it's houses. That ain't what I want. That's the reason I stayed here. I mean, I was born here.
Well, if you buy a piece of property, you don't have to sell the land adjacent to your house to somebody else. to
I
build
understand
on.
that.
I mean,
I understand that, but what I'm saying is you want to bring all this stuff in, and you're bringing all these other people. I know the crime comes with it, and all this other and all the other needs.
There will
It's
be.
gonna bring money in too. I understand that, and I agree. We need the money, but I'm not in for having all the people.
right.
I like the small town.
And
That's the reason I live here.
That's fair, and there are a lot of people, and we're all entitled to our opinions, and there's nothing wrong with what you're saying. There are a lot of people, but there's different parts of the county. But when you look at what this is going to do for most of our lifetime, this is going to grow that I-65 corridor. It's not going to grow the western half of the county. Not a lot. There may be a little bit of impact, but we're still going to be an agricultural-based rural county, much like Shelby County is. There's a lot of areas in Shelby County where it looks just like we look.
There's not a lot.
Well, they're going away, but that's been over a 30 or 40 year period. And, 40 years from now, I probably won't care as much as I do now. But I want my kids to live here where I don't have to go see my grandchildren in a different state or wherever.
I understand. That's all I have.
Thank you.
I own a business in Montgomery. I've owned it for 35 years. I drive up and down that road for the last 42 years. I've had to drive to Montgomery because I couldn't make a living here in Shelby County and make the living I'm making now.
Well, that's the reason
But next year, because of what's coming, I'm moving my business back to Chilton County. I've already bought a building. I'm gonna move back here because I believe in what's gonna happen. I believe in the growth that's gonna happen. And I guarantee I can make just as much here as I would be in Montgomery.
Making the money ain't the point, what I was trying to make. It was about the growth. I like a small town, that's the reason I'm here.
I ain't gonna pick you, yeah.
It don't matter, it's gonna affect you when you're in town.
Well, some of these questions or comments come from something that has already been said, and I probably should know the answers, but I don't. And I heard one time that the only dumb question is one that's not asked.
Amen.
That's true.
So, and this is asked because of something someone said a while ago. At a symposium that was held at the Senior Connections before the last election, I understood a commissioner to say that some funds from the hospital's holding account were used to help purchase the new industrial park. Is that true?
No, ma'am. The money that was used, if I have my dates right, and forgive me if I'm wrong because I was very young then, was from the original sale of the old hospital. And I think that was 1982 when it was sold, 83. Okay. I was 10 years old then, by the way. But
Well, I won't tell how old I was.
so when it was sold, that money was divided and put into some trust accounts. And our portion of that money was put in a trust account and protected by this commission since '83 to wait on the right investment. And we chose to spend that money to purchase our half of what we call the industrial park. Now, it won't wind up being industrial if we bring a fairground out there, so I don't think industrial properly describes it.
Yeah.
But had we brought industry in, say we got a tier 1 automotive supplier to come into that 500 acres, they would have asked us for 20 years of tax abatements and a lot of freebies up front. And with this, we've not been asked for anything that's going to affect our revenue stream. We haven't been asked for anything at all at this point, but we expect to be.
Okay, so some of that money that was in holding was used to go for the purchase of the.
Yes, but none of the money that came off the tax, the hospital tax, none of that money has
Okay.
been spent for this
All
property.
right. Okay, let me see. Another
We still
one.
got half of it.
Good.
It's about all we have, but we have it.
This is a question that I know you hear all the time, but can we expect accountability for all the places that our tax monies go? You know, some of us are retired, and that's a question too. What did you say a while ago about retirees not paying taxes
You can
or
get
something?
homestead exemptions as a
Oh, my
retiree.
goodness, that's not enough to buy a piece of cornbread.
But I understand you, but we don't pay much tax to begin with. Our property tax values are some of the lowest in the entire United States.
Well, does that mean then, I know y'all talked about it a while ago, but if you have a garbage dump next to your house or this big barn is going to be built across the road, does that mean my property tax is going to go up? Probably.
I don't think a barn would have anything to do with you, but I don't.
That's what that's going
That's
to
a
be.
Tim Little question.
That's a revenue commissioner question, because I don't understand all that. I know
Well,
every year
I
seems
know
like.
with all that that's next door, seems like that's what happens, no matter what's there.
Right.
You know, it seems
Right.
to affect everything.
So if your property value goes up, then your taxes would have to go up, would it not?
I guess they would, wouldn't they?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I'm just why I'm thinking if you having a establishment built next to your property, if I got joining property, then that means my property value is potentially probably going to go up. So that means my taxes
But
probably
what if it's
potentially
some
going up.
kind of business that's there that's just a junkyard?
Well,
We don't have zoning in the county.
yeah,
There's
that's the
no
problem.
Now,
All
there-
right, is that
We
going
don't
to be
plan to.
something that will be addressed with
The
this
city has
new
zoning.
thing coming?
The city has zoning, so I can't speak for the city, but they already have zoning in
I
place.
know, but what about the county?
The county has no zoning, and as far as I know today, we have no intentions of ever
So
zoning.
it's all going to stay the same, all that pretty view going up
What part are you talking about?
145?
That's city.
No.
No.
That's not county, so the city will handle that.
What she's
Oh, we're not in the city limits though. They
what
jumped
she's-
part of it and went over to that.
Well, I don't know where you live, so I'm.
You're
I'm
talking
off.
about, I'll help you. When-
Okay,
She's talking about the scrapyard. That's what,
Well-
the elephant in the room is the scrapyard.
well, that's what we call it. the
Yes,
junkyard.
ma'am. Well, I mean, that's, a lot of people make a living doing that right there. They honestly,
He
they support their
does,
families.
Yes, he does.
I'm not talking about just him. I'm talking about there's a lot of people in this county that, older and younger, to rely on that to feed their families. So,
Oh,
but what,
I don't- I
what
don't
I'm saying is
have a problem with
that
that.
I don't potentially see that. That's going to be something the IDB board and the economic development is going to have to work out, because I see what you're saying, that that if your property's not next door, it kind of makes it go down. Is that correct? That's what
Well,
you're saying?
sometimes.
Yes, ma'am.
These things tend to have a self-feeding effect. So if this thing is as successful as we believe that it's gonna be, then your property value is gonna go up because people are gonna be wanting to buy your property. So then you have the option to sell a piece of property that you might have $800 an acre in for $40,000 an acre and move somewhere else and buy, another piece of $800 acre property. Or you can choose to live right where you live and not be able to pull out on the highway because there's so much traffic.
That's what I'm afraid is going to happen. So the city will be responsible for anything that's done as far as, recycling place and,
That's not in the
Another
city
hand.
That's
limits
not in the city
today.
limits.
well, that's what I know, but I thought you said the city would,
I'm talking about the actual piece of property that we're developing. The county has no zone.
oh, I know, but is it not going to look bad to go by these places and that road that is so filthy?
That right there is being worked on, actually.
Well, that is wonderful.
It's been discussed.
Well,
Not by us.
well, I'm glad.
There will be
don't have a
somebody
zone.
somewhere
See,
that will,
some of us
anything
can't
that's
afford to clean
unsightly
it
will
up
eventually
anymore.
go away because somebody will offer them more than they
Yeah,
can stand to
that's
stay
right.
there for.
Okay, and another thing,
of 145 or that side?
going that way, I'm on the road.
the other side?
I'm on the side of the scrapyard.
Okay, that's what I was.
Okay.
Okay, another little thing. Did the alcohol taxes, did the county get any of that for our revenue, and did it help with anything?
No, we're getting taxes, but did it help? No. But let me explain that a little further, and we're kind of getting off subject, but I think this is something
Well,
prudent to talk
I
about.
don't, we've talked about sheriff's needs, and we need it. I know
So,
we need
so
sheriff.
we were receiving what was called an in lieu of tax. So the state of Alabama taxed the Tennessee Valley Water Authority to pay counties not to sell alcohol. That tax had a lifespan. Okay? So we were nearing the end of that, where that money was going to run out. When we went wet as a county, we lost it, even though it had not